I brought you 7 principles of long sales cycle B2B marketing out of my experiences over the last years. Principle number 1 is bucket before rain. What do I mean by that? Bucket before rain. So creating marketing campaigns, awareness campaigns, conversion campaigns, creating copies, creatives is great fun. It's what I love to do as well. But when you switch on the rain and there are no buckets, everything we did is basically lost. Yes, we can do some measurements and we can see which content angles are working, but it will probably not translate into sales opportunities. And this is, at least in my opinion, one of the most important jobs that marketing needs to be responsible for: creating sales opportunities. Job number 1 of marketing is creating sales opportunities for the sales colleagues and creating prospects, leads that created demand, that created trust, who know who you are, who know how you and your product can help them. And that's the number 1 responsibility of marketing. So marketing has a responsibility for pipeline, for revenue. Marketing is the pre-step of sales. And when I say buckets before rain, I mean that this infrastructure needs to be in place before we turn on the rain and before we push the button and start our campaigns, at least in a broader sense. Once there are leads incoming, there need to be processes how to get in touch with them, how to nurture them, how to, for example, send them a text on LinkedIn, how to call them, how the entire sales process is opened up after the marketing campaigns. Also, of course, how the content and the messages and the angles which have been performed on the marketing funnel are being translated into the sales process. What I see oftentimes is that sales and marketing people don't really talk too much with each other, or sometimes salespeople are like, we don't know what kind of cream-colored pony marketing they are doing there. We don't know. We just want to have our sales opportunities. And on the other side, marketing doesn't, or marketing people feel like they don't have all information they need from sales. What are the most common questions that prospects, leads ask in the sales process? What are their objectives? What are the most common reasons for them to buy? What are the most common reasons for them to not buy? These are all information that marketing need to know in order to create proper marketing campaigns that resonate. So there need to be a deep exchange of information between sales and marketing. And then you can really align both of them. So yeah, this is a really important part. Bucket before rain. Get your sales processes in place. Get marketing and sales to talk with each other so that opportunities that are being created by marketing, prospects that created demand, that created trust, that now know how your product can help them, that they can be translated into sales opportunities. And then, of course, also, I think this is a very important basic mindset that we need to be aware of in terms of B2B markets. The next principle number 2, green to ripe banana. Green to ripe banana. What do I mean by that? We all are in long sales cycle B2B marketing. All of us know that marketing and sales processes can take quite some time until they translate into a real sale. And my philosophy is to first create green bananas for you as the company that performs marketing campaigns. What do I mean by green bananas? You know the situation, you're in the supermarket, you take the green bananas home, put them on the table at home, but they're not ripe yet. You don't eat them yet. You take them with you, you take them home, and then you let them get sweeter, yellower, the little dark dots, which I prefer. My girlfriend doesn't, unfortunately. But that's exactly what we should do with our leads, with our prospects, with people out of our target group that might become our client in the future. The exact personas within the companies that we are targeting, the ones that we can help best with our product, we need to create our audience ownership. For example, in form of contacts in our CRM. We perform campaigns. I will dive deeper into how to do that in a second. But in general, we create marketing campaigns. First step, green banana collection. We generate the contact data of people that give us their data. That's really important. We don't buy any audience lists or something and then send out mass emails or mass messages or mass cold calling. No one wants that. But once we motivate exact target personas, target roles out of the companies that we can help with our product, and they decide, yes, there's something valuable. Yes, I want to sign up for something. I want to give them my contact data for more information, more content, whatever, for more value. Then we collect the green bananas. We take them home already with us. And then step by step, we can take care of letting them become ripe bananas. This is a very, very, very important mindset, I think, especially in long sales cycles. And this is also, this has something to do with patience, of course. Many companies out there, as said, they buy a list of email addresses and then mass mailings. You know it yourself, you don't want to receive 10 cold messages, emails a day that someone bought your email address and they don't even know if you have an interest in their product, if you're in need of their product, if there's a problem or a bottleneck or a goal that you want to achieve with something that they might help with. So yeah, it's really important to first attract green bananas, take them home with you, build your audience ownership, and from there on, step by step, create also here again trust, relationship, demand in order to let them become ripe bananas who then turn into sales opportunities and sales because they know already how you and your product can help them to solve their problem or to solve their need, to solve their goal. This is really important. Principle number 3 is the mere exposure effect. Who knows the mere exposure effect? Thomas knows. Good. It's a fact that has been researched in the field of psychology, especially in Stanford University, I think. It was a Polish psychologist who basically found this effect. And in simple terms, the mere exposure effect says that the more often we see a person, the more trust we create for that. It's as simple as that. Just the more often we see a person, in brackets, or a brand, or a product, the more often we see a person, the more trust we create for that. And this is obviously the next step, after creating or after generating our green bananas to let them become more ripe and ripe, to make use of the mere exposure effect. The more often a person sees us, sees our face, sees our brand, our product, the more trust they create. And this is a very, very powerful tool. You can, if you're aware of that mere exposure effect, I mean, of course, all of the advertising out there you see, all of the branding strategies out there you see, of course, they are based on that general effect. But we can also make use of that in the B2B market. For example, with excellent content on a very, very high level, but also snackable but also in a snackable way for people. There are people who prefer long-form content. There are people who prefer short-form snackable content. Snackable content doesn't need or doesn't mean that that it's low-quality content. Actually, the opposite is the case oftentimes. To put really excellent content into a 45-second video snippet is not that easy. But as you see on platforms as TikTok or Insta Reels, YouTube Shorts, etc., these kind of snackable short, or also LinkedIn is going into the direction of shorter video content now, and this is something that we can make use of. The mere exposure effect. The more often people see us, see our brand, the more trust, and by that also relationship, and then also demand they create. And by the way, yes, faces and real people are building up trust, I would say, faster than generic brands. Also in the B2B space. In the end, people buy from faces and not from logos. People buy from faces and not from logos. So also when we perform campaigns, doesn't matter if performance campaigns or content campaigns, social media marketing, email campaigns, whatever, at least in my opinion, there needs to be, if possible, yes, I see it's not possible all the times, but if possible, there needs to be a face, a personal touch to attach to the brand, because then we accelerate the speed that this mere exposure effect can do its work. And it's also possible for large corporations. We have, for example, Allianz Versicherung Insurance is one of our clients, one of the biggest insurances in the world. And also they perform their campaigns and their funnels and their content with persons, with real people attached to their brand in their email campaigns, in their advertising, in their content, to make use of that effect. And I think this is really, really powerful on the way from getting green to ripe banana. Principle number 4 is the philosophy of serve first. Serve first. Also here, it's all that we want to do. We want to create trust, relationship, and demand with the people in the companies that we can help with our product. And this is also a very, very, very powerful tool that we have, powerful principle, powerful mechanism that we can make use of. Serve first. You know the effect of reciprocity. So once people feel that someone else has done something valuable for us, has inspired us, has given us value, has given us something that we can, or that we solved a little problem with that we had before, or that we reached a certain goal with that we had, then we feel that we owe something to that person. Also very, very subconscious. And this effect we can also make use of in the market. Also here again, green banana to ripe banana. We want to create trust, relationship, demand. And if we are the ones who stand out in, for example, the feeds, the social media feeds of our prospects, of our ICPs, of our personas that we want to target, we are the ones who provide value. We are not the ones who are the loudest, who are basically only telling them, buy our product, click here, buy our product now. And we are the ones who serve first in form of valuable content, excellent content, in form of things that they can make use of immediately. And we basically train them to know that once they receive something from us, once they consume something from us, they already have a little problem solved, they have a little inspiration, they have a little education gained, or also a little goal that they achieved with us. Once they've learned that, then we can go deeper and deeper and deeper, and get people closer and closer and closer to us. Serve first. Also here, of course, in the marketing field, the content game, highly valuable, inspirational content is what we can make use of. Doesn't matter in which format. Can be in our advertising campaigns, in email campaigns, in webinars, in social media, of course. Can be in video short form, can be in single image advertising or postings, in slideshows, whatever. And little hack here is to use or to provide content, to provide valuable content for little problems or little goals that people might have before they buy our main product. So, for example, we had this little lead magnet PDF with the recipes for FMCG product creators, in which they saw which amount of matcha they need for what kind of products, what the temperature needs to be, and so on. So this is a little pre-problem or pre-goal that they have. They get educated. It's valuable content for them, and then of course it's obvious that the next step in their own journey of creating products is, okay, where do I get this matcha product, right? Serve first. The next principle is what I call lead gen plus demand gen. Lead gen plus demand gen. The combination of lead generation and demand gen. In the B2B marketing field, there's a lot of B2B marketing experts, providers out there currently who make the statement, lead gen is dead, demand gen is the only way. What they basically mean by that is to don't, especially in the field of advertising, to not perform any lead generation campaigns anymore, and to only provide ungated content, creating demand, letting people create their demand on their own. And then the thesis is that people will knock on your door on their own. You don't need to, or you won't push them at all. You won't create any leads. You won't do any outreach. You won't do anything. You just provide them ungated content, and that's it. Demand generation only, lead gen is dead. I would say 80-90% of B2B marketers out there are proposing that kind of B2B marketing strategy these days. In my opinion, that is a pretty dangerous way, and there's a better way. Pretty dangerous because you will become dependent on the platforms. So if your only marketing strategy is to do LinkedIn advertising, for example, ungated content, and that's it, and then you wait until people knock on your door and say, hey, I've seen your LinkedIn advertising for the last 2 years. Now the time is right to maybe work together with you. Yes, of course, that works, but you're highly dependent on the platform LinkedIn. In that case, for example, in that example. And also, you're highly dependent on, for example, your marketing agency who performs that LinkedIn ads for you. So you do not create your own audience ownership. You do not collect your own green bananas. You only put out content. I'm a huge fan of content, and as said before, I know how strong content is, how powerful content works. Yes, I'm a content boy, but in my opinion, you need to combine demand generation with lead generation. You can still do lead generation. You can still perform audience ownership creation, green banana creation campaigns. And in my opinion, this is what you should do. Does it work? Or I think the misunderstanding people have out there once they say only demand gen, lead gen is dead, is basically the process how it's been done in the past. Oftentimes, there's being a lead created or a lead generated by some PDF, for example, some white paper, some industry report or whatever, and then someone signs up for it, downloads it, and 5 minutes later, sales is calling. Of course, that's not what we want. That's not the philosophy. That's not the principle of first creating the green bananas and then step by step letting them create demand, trust, relationship, and then maybe after a couple of weeks we can also of course call them. Sales can call them, but this is the big difference. So in my opinion, lead generation also here by highly valuable content, creating audience ownership, getting our green bananas home, putting them on our table, putting the data in our CRM, and then performing content marketing in a systematic, scalable way, highly valuable email marketing, very content-based remarketing campaigns. Also using various platforms, not using LinkedIn only, for example. I would also recommend to make use of the Google and Microsoft environments, especially in the fields of B2B marketing. And then also here again, lead gen first and then demand generation in order to get our ripe bananas out of the green bananas, letting them create demand, relationship, trust for us, for our product, letting them know how we can help them, how our product can solve their problems, can solve their goals. And that's, in my opinion, a much safer way how to do modern B2B marketing in our long sales cycle world. Lead gen plus demand generation. I don't think that lead gen is fully dead. It's only dead for those who do only lead generation and then immediately make the offer. Of course, that's something that doesn't work that well, yes. Okay, principle number 6, gold is in the long breath. Gold is in the long breath. Once we create content, yeah, we do have a hypothesis what might be valuable, worthwhile content for our clients, what might help them, what could be good angles for our messaging in the campaigns. What can be good lead magnets, for example. What topics is what we're going to perform in our email campaigns? What are our remarketing angles? Which platforms are we going to use? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Facebook, Instagram? Is it the Google universe? Is it YouTube? All of that needs to be tested. And here we can get a little inspiration out of our product departments. In the agile world of product development, how are products being developed? Step number 1, we do have our thesis, what might work. We build it, we ship it, and then we measure. We ship our product into the market. We see how consumers react, how our target group reacts, what they like, what they don't like, what works, what does not work. And then we take our KPIs and we create new theses, what might work better than that. We always want to beat ourselves. We always want to beat our own metrics. We always want to beat our own KPIs. That's the most important. That's basically the most important mindset that we need to have in marketing. We see what works already. We measure what does not work, and then we always want to beat ourselves. We want to beat the metrics of our last campaign. We want to beat the KPIs of our last piece of content, of our last previous lead magnet that we use. We want to beat our opening rates, our current opening rates in our email marketing. We want to do more of what works. We want to do less of what we see does not work. We want to do more of what works, and then product development. We iterate into the direction of our new thesis. We iterate, and then same process again. We ship, we measure, we see what works, we see what does not work. We want to do more of what works. We want to beat our own metric, and then again, same process again. It's like a product development cycle, like an agile product development cycle. Ship, measure, iterate, build, ship, measure, iterate, build, ship, measure. And that's everything we do basically in marketing. Of course, we need to be aware of what our funnel looks like. What's the entry point of our funnel? What are, for example, our awareness campaigns? Next step, what are our lead gen campaigns? What is our lead gen content? What are our current metrics here? What are our current KPIs? What are our current conversion rates? What our current click rates are? What's our current cost per click, etc.? What are our opening rates? What are our show-up rates in webinars? What are our retention rates in webinars? What are our conversion rates into appointments after webinars, etc. We need to be aware of each and every conversion step within our funnel, and then that's all we do. Week by week by week by week, we try to see, okay, in our entire funnel, where is the biggest bottleneck right now? Where are we the unhappiest with our current metrics and KPIs and conversion rates? And then we generate ideas how to optimize that conversion rate, that metric, and then we build something, we ship it, we see, does it work, does it not work, and we repeat and repeat. And that's it. Yeah, and that can take some time. I remember the first month or even the first half year or year of the IR campaigns. The cost per lead, for example, was way too high. The conversion rates were too low, and we tried each and every week new content angles, new lead magnet PDF, new creative style, other bidding strategies in the campaigns, different campaign and ad formats, etc. And then we saw step by step that the conversion rates improved. And that's the long sales cycle B2B game. That's part of the game. Common mistake that many companies do is to stop their campaigns too early, to stop too early, and to decide on doesn't work for us. Yes, doesn't work for you in the current way of how you do it. Doesn't work. Either the content doesn't resonate with the ICP personas, or the format is not the one that they like to consume, or whatever reason it might be. But yes, it doesn't work. But at least as we know that we do have a product that helps people, that helps companies to solve problems or to reach their goals, I'm pretty sure that for each and every of these kind of products, you can do good marketing. Sometimes it takes 2 days, sometimes it takes 2 years until it's profitable. But but the goal is in the long breath. Okay. Oh, the last one is also very, very interesting phenomenon. The shadow funnel. The shadow funnel is real. Are you aware of the shadow funnel? Also called dark social, or the dark funnel also being called. Once we create our marketing campaigns, we have that picture of our nice and straight funnel. There's awareness campaigns, then there's lead gen, then there's remarketing, and then there's content via emails, then there's content via webinars, and then there's the point where sales is calling, and we also doing messages on LinkedIn, and then a person out of our target group yes, of course, they always take the perfect way through our funnel. They take the first step, then the second, and then they get our leads. Then they then become leads for us. Then they open our emails. Then they show up in our webinar, and then they show up in the sales call. Of course, that's mostly not the way how it works. You know it from your own behavior, how B2B buyers are acting in reality. You maybe see an advertising of a company, of a product. Maybe you realize it, maybe you don't consciously realize it. Continue scrolling through your feed. Then later on, maybe you see a second one, and you're like, I've seen that. I saw that the company before somewhere. I don't know. Then maybe you see some content piece, you see some remarketing advertising. Maybe you start Googling who is that, what are they doing? Maybe you ask colleagues. Maybe you drop a link to the company page into the company chat. Ask your colleagues, hey, have you heard about them? Some people say, yes, I saw something, I saw some content, saw advertising. No, I don't know them. So especially in long sales cycle B2B marketing, it's highly different from what we know from the B2C world. In the B2C world, you can have the straightforward journey through the funnel. Someone sees an advertising, clicks on the ad, lands in the online shop, either buying the pair of shoes immediately or getting some retargeting, and then 2 weeks later into the shop, buying the shoes, check out, done, cool. In B2B, the shadow funnel is real. Most of the times we cannot really measure what the journey was. Yes, there are attribution models, there are attribution softwares, etc. But most of the times we do not really know what was the first touch point. Where did they go after? Did they send or receive the link maybe from a colleague? Have they read our reviews somewhere on Google or on G2 or Gartner or wherever? How often have they been consuming our content or visiting our website or checking out our product and so on? So there's a buyer journey that is highly unstraight and not really predictable. And that's the reason why we need to make it as easy as possible for our potential clients to be seen by them, no matter which way they take. Whether they stay on LinkedIn and they prefer to consume text posts only, or if they prefer to consume video posts, or if they go to Google us, we need to be in control of what they see first, which reviews they see first, which pages of our website they see first. Or if they send the link to a colleague in the internal Teams or Slack or company chat, what is the little preview that's being seen by the others in the chat window of our website? We need to be visible for them also in their private time. Once they are at home sitting on the sofa scrolling through YouTube, bam, we need to be visible again for them. No matter which direction, which weird way of buyer journey they take, and no matter how long it takes, and it takes pretty long in B2B marketing or in B2B sales buyer journey, we need to be visible for them, and we need to be the ones who are in control of what they see, how they recognize us, how they frame us, our brand, our product for themselves and for others, for their colleagues. Because most of the times we cannot expect the straight way through the funnel, because the shadow funnel, dark social, the weird ways of getting to us, getting away from us again, then getting closer to us, closer to us, is not measurable, but controllable by us. And that's the very exciting part. It's not measurable for us, but it's controllable. And that's why the shadow funnel and the dark social environment is something that we also need to be aware of and take care of in order. These are my 7 principles of long sales cycle B2B marketing.